Hello friends, this video on electrochemistry part 27 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now we have seen electrolysis, right? We have seen it works like magic. It helps to electroplate a substance, it helps to purify copper, it also helps to create replica of old monuments. Now the question is, how do you quantify it? Till now we have not quantified electrolysis, right? We know electrolysis happens, the transfer of electron happens and Cu becomes Cu2 plus and it moves from anode to cathode. Those things we have seen, but we have not seen how to quantify it. So to quantify, Michael Faraday, he was the first scientist who actually described the quantitative aspect of electrolysis. So he did exhaustive investigation on electrolytic solutions and he published his law in 1833 actually. 1833 he published his law in the form of Faraday's two law of electrolysis. In fact, there are two laws of electrolysis. Right? The first law is the amount of chemical reaction that occurs at any electrode during electrolysis by a current is proportional to the electricity passed through. That means amount of chemical reaction that happens at a given electrode during electrolysis will be directly proportional to the current amount. If you pass more current, you'll get more reaction. If you pass less current, you'll get less reaction. That was the first law, right? Second law, assume you pass the same current. You pass the same current, but still it was observed that you get different substance, right? So if you pass the same amount of current, so in that case, if the current is constant, my current is fixed, right? I am passing the same amount of current. So in that case, the amount of substance which you get, amount of substance that is deposited will be directly proportional to chemical equivalent weight. Chemical, and what is chemical equivalent? That is nothing but atomic mass of metal divided by the number of electrons required to reduce it. Electrons required to reduce it. For example, for copper, atomic mass is what? 63. And generally, if we have, let's suppose, Cu2 plus 2 Cu, right? So the number of electrons required to reduce is 2. So for copper, my equivalent atomic chemical equivalent weight will be 63 by 2. For sodium, let's suppose Na plus becomes Na with 1 electron. So for sodium, the atomic mass is 23 and number of electron required is 1. So this will be 23 by 1 will be my chemical equivalent weight. Right? So two laws. First is pretty obvious, right? The amount of reaction depends on the amount of current. More current you pass, more reaction will happen, right? More current you pass, more copper will go from here to here. Let's suppose this is copper and this is copper sulfate solution and this is a metal to plate. We have seen the example, right? The more current you pass, the more copper will move from here to here. The next is, if you pass the same current but you are using different rods here or different electrolytes here, you want to see how much metal is deposited here, right? Because this is here where generally the metals are deposited. Why? Because this is negative charge. In negative charge you have electrons and generally we have ions, Cu plus 2 or Na plus, they becomes Na or Cu, right? Here we have the deposition of metals. So that depends here. That depends, if the current is fixed, the amount of deposition of metal will depend on the chemical equivalent weight. That is nothing but the atomic mass of metal by the number of electrons required to reduce it. Correct? So he also gave this formula, Q is equal to, we know this formula, Q is equal to IT. Q is what? charge or amount of electricity in coulombs, and I is what? Current in ampere, and T is what? Time. Correct? So amount of electricity or charge required for oxidation or reduction depends on the stoichiometry of the reaction. For example, I have Xn plus and it takes 10 electrons and becomes X. Then I can say that n moles of electrons are required to reduce one atom of N plus. Please note this statement. I can write that n electrons are required to reduce one atom of X. Correct? So if n electrons are required to reduce one atom of X, so then what I can say? Then I can say that n into 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 electrons will be required to reduce 1 mole, because 1 mole of X, because 1 mole of X is nothing but 6 into 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 atoms, right? So n electrons required for 1 atom of X for this equation. For example, in this case, Cu2 plus 2 electron gives Cu. That means I can say that 2 electrons are required to reduce 1 atom of copper. Correct? Similarly, n electrons are required to reduce X, 1 atom of X. You multiply by 1 mole, that means n into 6.023 electrons are required to reduce 1 mole of X. And 1 mole of X is nothing but, you know, that the atomic mass of X. Correct? This is nothing but atomic mass, so 1 mole of X. And if you see, this many electrons are required now. Now if I want to find how many charge this electron has, I know that one electron has 1.6021 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb charge. So these many electrons will have how many charge? So let's see there. Charge in n into 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 electrons, nothing but n into 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 into 1 electron, that is 1.6021 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. We saw this comes out to be n into 96487 coulomb. And this 96487 coulomb is nothing but 1 Faraday. So this is nothing but n Faraday. So this we have seen, right? 96487 is 1 coulomb. 96487 coulomb is 1 Faraday. So from this reaction I can say that this n Faraday charge is required for 1 mole of X. Correct? For this reaction, n Faraday of charge is required to reduce 1 mole of compound atom X. Hope you understand this. You have quantified this. N Faraday charge is required to reduce 1 mole of L+. For example, Ag plus Ag, right? So I can say that 1 Faraday is required to reduce 1 mole of Ag. Similarly, Mg2 plus, it needs 2 electrons to become Mg. You can say that 2 Faraday charge is required for 1 mole of magnesium. Similarly, Al3 plus, it needs 3 electrons to become Al. I can say that 3 Faraday charge is required to reduce 1 mole of aluminum. Now, iron Fe3, it takes 1 mole of electron to become iron Fe2 plus, let's suppose. So I can say that 1 Faraday charge is required to reduce 1 mole of Fe3 plus to Fe2 plus. But again, if it is Fe3 plus to, let's suppose, 3 electron becomes Fe, then I can say that 3 Faraday charge is required to reduce ferric, 1 mole of ferric to iron state. But here 1 Faraday charge is required to reduce ferric to ferrous, 1 mole. Correct. So let's take some numerical on this. The question says a solution of copper sulfate is electrolyzed for 10 minutes with a current of 1.5 ampere. What is the mass of copper deposit? For example, this is my anode and this is my cathode. As I already told, plus charge is negative charge. Deposit always happen at cathode per minutes, right? So they're asking how much copper will be deposited. If you see the reaction at cathode will be Cu2 plus, it takes 2 electron, becomes copper. This reaction we have seen so many times, right? This becomes copper solid because this is a copper sulfate solution. It will have Cu2 plus, and that will take electrons from here. Because there is a extra electrons here, it becomes copper. So from this reaction I can say that what 2 Faraday charge is required for 1 mole of copper, and 1 mole of copper is nothing but 63 gram of copper, correct? And 2 Faraday charge is how much? 2 into 96487 coulomb. So this much charge is required to produce 63 gram of copper in this cathode. First let's see how much charge is there. So I know that formula Q is equal to I into T. What is the value of current? Current is 1.5 ampere. What is the value of time? Time has to be in seconds. So 10 minutes is nothing but 10 into 60 seconds. And this is ampere. Solve this, you get 900 coulomb. So now this many coulombs is required to produce 63 grams. That implies if I have 900 coulombs, how much gram I will be getting? I will be getting, let me write here, 63 gram by 2 into this whole value 96487 multiply by 900. Simple maths. You solve this, you get 0.2398 grams. So if you pass the electricity of 1.5 ampere for 10 minutes, you will be getting 0.2938 grams of copper deposited in the cathode. Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online tests, get free study materials, find tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.